You made it to the fourth video. In the first three videos, you learned how to set up your total email autoresponder campaign, and you're now ready to start sending leads to it. In this video, we're going to go over the email scraper tab, which you can find at the top. And just like the campaigns tab, when you first click on it, you're going to get to the projects tab. For you, this is going to be blank since you haven't started a project yet, so we're going to go ahead and add a new project. Just like the campaigns earlier, you click on add new project, and I'll go ahead and name this one video for test. Click the add button and you'll see that it's going to get added under the scraper projects. So go ahead and click on that and click the open project button and it'll open it up. So websites is your main tab, and this is where you're going to be adding the websites that you want to scrape, and you can monitor how many pages it's collected and how many it's checked and how many leads it's collected. We're going to go ahead and set up a little test campaign that shows you how to scrape a forum. So let's say you want to scrape leads for a fishing product that you might have. FloridaSportsman.com is a pretty popular forum for fishermen in Florida, and we're going to try to collect some leads off of this website. You'll notice up here the domain is FloridaSportsman.com, but we want to find out where the users' emails are located. So we'll go to their forums, and usually a good place to look is by clicking on a username and looking at their profile, and usually here you can find their email listed in their profile account. So one that I found was here. You can see when you go to their profile, you can click on their About Me and you'll find their email address right there. So you want to scrape these pages. And if you look at the top, you'll notice that it's no longer FloridaSportsman.com. Now it's forums.floridasportsman.com. If it's using a subdomain, you want to make sure that you put the subdomain in there and not just the root domain. Go ahead and add that. So now when you run this scraper, it's going to collect all pages off of forums.floridasportsman.com and check them for email addresses. But we want to go a little further, and we only want to check the member profile pages. So if we go back to this page, we'll notice up here in the URL it says member.php. So we want to make sure that it only searches the members pages, because this is where it's going to find all the emails. And this is where the keywords tab comes into play. So go ahead and click on keywords. The keyword we're going to be looking for is member. If you go back and look at the URL, you'll notice up here that it says member right here. What this tells Tier to do is to search all the URLs with this keyword inside the URL. So we'll go ahead and add that. So now if I was to run this process, it would scrape all users or all URLs with the member keyword in it, and it'll find all those emails for those accounts on that forum. You can add as many keywords as you want and add as many websites as you want in here. I prefer to make a separate campaign for every different niche or every different forum that you're targeting to collect leads off of. If we go down here to Proxies tab, this is where you can add and test proxies if you don't want to use your home IP to scrape websites with. And then if you go down another one, website logins. When you get to the website logins, you pick the website that you want to be scraping. And in many cases, if you take this forum, the Florida Sportsman forum, for example, and you try to go to a user and look at their account where their emails are listed, you'll get the error that you do not have permission to access this page, which means you need to be logged in. So you're going to have to save your login information to this forum inside here. So all you have to do is go to the website, log in with your account information, push login, and when you see that your account's been logged in, just click the Save Login button. And you'll see login sequence saved, which now saves a cookie for this login into Tier. So when you scrape Tier, it'll now be able to log in and you will see all the profile accounts and it'll be able to find the email on the user profile page. That's pretty much all there is to it when it comes to scraping websites or forums or any place where you might want to find emails that are relevant to your niche. Another method of collecting emails is the Google Business. This is a really good feature if you're trying to find SEO leads or local leads to sell your service or product to. The first thing that you want to do is type in the location of the place you want to scrape. So in this case, I'm going to type in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Click on the Find Location button, and we'll see that it now found my location. You'll notice this red dot right in the center, and that's a GPS spot that it's going to search. So for every red dot, it'll search about a half mile to a mile radius around that dot. So the more dots on this page, the more places it's going to search. And down here you can choose how many dots you want. I prefer to run it as many dots as possible because that just increases the amount of businesses that will be found when you run this scraper. On the left, you want to add your keywords, and this is the businesses it's going to target. So in this case, I'm going to type in keywords like fishing, bait, tackle, boat, marina. Notice there's no spaces. There's no spaces that are going to be put in this box. If you try to hit the space bar, it's going to put a comma. So you can't use two words. It has to be a single keyword. And once this is ready, simply push on Collect Websites, and you'll see that it'll start loading all the websites down here. We can see that Tier collected 14 websites targeting these keywords and in this area. And when you click OK, it now adds them to the Websites tab. If we go back up here, we will now see all these websites have been added. So any business with the word fishing in it, or tackle, or bait that has a website will now be listed here. We'll go ahead and remove the Florida Sportsman. And these are all of the domains. So the first thing you want to do is right click on it, and you can click on the Start All button. So it's going to start scraping all of these websites. And once it scrapes them, it'll start checking them here, which you can monitor on the left tab. Down here in the scraper log, you're going to see exactly what pages are currently being checked. We see it already finished one of the websites, and it's already collected one email. But since I don't feel like sitting around having you guys watch this scrape, we can go and look at some other campaigns that I have already had running for a few hours. So we'll go back to our scraper projects. And these are just some of the projects that I've been running. If any of you guys are familiar with digitalpoint.com, it's a marketing forum, and I went ahead and ran this, and in a few hours I got 951 leads just off of this site. I think the keywords I was targeting was members, just kind of like the fishing forum. I think they both use the vBulletin backend, so it's always kind of the same. Once you have these scraped emails, you're going to want to either extract these emails to a text file, and then you can do whatever you want with them, or you can transfer the leads. If you remember from the other videos, you probably have your campaign set up already. If you click on Transfer Leads, it's going to ask you which campaign you want to send it to. So maybe the Selling Tier campaign, and then it's going to ask you to select a template, and we'll select Response 1. And you can even upload them as drip feed leads. So it'll send them out at 100 per hour, 200, or whatever you set this to. And then you just click transfer, and the leads will be put into that file. If we go over to the Selling Tier campaign and open it up, we can now see the 951 leads are pending in here. I highly recommend going to your Monitor Incoming Leads tab, and you can click on this Verify All Emails button. I highly recommend doing this if you're using scraped leads, because chances are a lot of these leads are no longer actual emails that are in use. So to cut down on your bounce rates, you definitely want to verify the leads. And it'll just go ahead and make sure it's still a valid email. If it is, it'll keep it in here. If it's not, it'll remove it. And this will keep your SMTP nice and healthy and prevent you from getting banned from your providers. There's currently a lot of pending URLs here that still need to be checked, so I'll most likely get a lot more emails than this. And these are great emails for targeting any kind of MMO or BizOp type offers, or in this case, we're going to be pushing them tier. But you can get very creative on how you set up your scraper campaigns, and there'll definitely be some updates coming out soon with even more features on ways that you can scrape. If you want to run multiple scraper projects, just click on your tier icon on your desktop and open up another tier app, and you'll easily be able to add a new project or load an existing one. You could run as many scrapers as you want. It's always good to have these running overnight, and then in the morning you'll have plenty of leads to market your product to. For more tutorials on using tier, you can head over to our tutorials page, where you're going to find a lot more in-depth guides on setting up your campaigns, and there'll also be a lot more in-depth guides on using the scraper and some tips and tricks that you can use with tier for you to maximize this software and get the most out of it.